Hey, good morning, YouTube. It's your beekeeper here. I've only got 46 seconds to talk, so I got to make this fast. I appreciate your patience. Your patience. I get emails every now and again. People going, what the heck is going on with your sawmill project? And well, here you see it. Those are 1927 Model T truck fenders on an old truck I built many years ago, but I digress. So here it sits in front of my firewood. It's piled in front of it is piled 26 other projects. I need to get this thing out in the sun, get it in my way, so I'll get work done on it. It's been sitting since about January, February of this year, and it's been about at least a 2-year project of trying to collect parts and get this thing together. It's been in my mind for a lot longer to build one, but anyway, here's the update vid, and hopefully I can get cracking on this thing in the next couple days. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. I never built one of these things before. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, so anyway, here we go.
Dog. What is today? Today's Thursday. And I dragged this thing out. The video you have just watched of me dragging this thing out was done over the weekend. And this is just a crazy ass week. And it's before I'm leaving for work. And I wanted to get this video uploaded because this damn thing's in the way. See, my theory, hold on a second, let me get this loop. We're supposed to get rain here in the next couple days, so I wanted to get this video done for the rain hits. And see, my theory was to get this sawmill out in my way. So it's in my way, not out of my way, but into my way. So I'll work on this damn thing, because now's the time of year to do it. Get this sucker done. However, with the play, I haven't had any time. I've got a matinee today. We have matinees during the week, which takes half of my day. They start at 10, and I'm usually out of there by 1 o'clock. And then I have to go to work after that, because I have 100 million things going on with work. Everything has to get done before the winter, of course. I've been changing windows on a 4-story condominium with scaffolding, and my painter's over there painting the outside, and I had like 42 windows to replace, 42 windows to replace, and then turns out there's a bunch of rotten siding that I need to replace, and I've been there since the first week in October, so I'm killing myself over there and doing the play. So anyway, long and short of it, so here's the sawmill. Here's where it is. Sorry, I got a little bit of a cold going here. It's kind of my end of season sickness because I worked myself into a frenzy. I'm going to add this to my playlist, so if you want to check out my playlist, you could see where we left off on this project. It's been almost a year since I put this underneath the little lean-to there in front of the firewood, and I haven't seen it. Put a cover on it, and that's where it's sat. So what have I done since the last video? I completed this tray. This is the tray that the cutting deck is going to set on, and I added some cross bracing, which really firms this system up here. And if you recall on my last video, I have 48-inch 2x2 square tube that I'm going to run for legs, and I haven't affixed that yet to here because I'm not sure where the center of balance, the center of gravity is going to be on this thing, how it's going to balance. So I don't know where this is going to sit. This whole cutting assembly is going to sit in relationship to the wheels that are going to be on this 2x2 steel, so that's going to wait. What I added since last time was this overhead garage door spring. There's 100 ways, well, maybe not 100, there's a few different ways you could make this cutting deck. So basically, if you're not familiar with these Bandmill sawmills, is I'm going to have 2 wheels, 2 car tires here that are going to rotate with a saw blade, with a saw blade that's going to run along the wheels. This is going to go down that big trailer that I made and cut logs horizontally. Now this cutting tray, or this deck here, is going to be able to raise or lower, and as you can see, I'm going to be able to fit a big ass log in here. This is 60 inches across. I was hoping to be able to fit a 36-inch log, 36 inch, but it looks like I'll be able to fit almost a 40-inch log in here and still be able to comfortably cut it, somewhere around there, which is way bigger than I want to deal with anyway. But some people, they use screw drives. And originally I was going to use a screw drive. I have a friend that works at a garage door overhead company, an overhead door company, and they do garage doors, and we talked about getting a screw drive from a commercial garage door opener, and I was going to run vertical screws down that were going to grab a foot here and then connect them with the chain and sprockets and be able to turn it and lift this up and down like that. But I didn't want to have to reach on top to turn a hand crank. So I changed that idea, and then we started brainstorming, and we came up with an idea of an overhead garage door spring. This is for a 16-inch. This is a 60-inch spring, right? And this came off of, or this would be used on a 16-foot two-car garage door, wooden, which weighs approximately 290 pounds. The door would weigh approximately 290 pounds. So this can handle a lot of weight. I don't imagine everything on this tray is going to weigh that much. I'm probably looking at about $1.25 to $1.50 by the time I get everything done on here, and we'll go through the components I'm going to have on here in just a minute. And anyhow, when I had this out last winter, ironically, this got hit by a tree branch, fell off one of these eucalyptus trees, and it hit the corner of the sawmill, in all irony, and it bent this thing down like to about there. So I put it back up again. I'm looking at it now, it's still a little bit kicked, so I need to square that off. And my theory is, I'll take this breaker bar with a 3/4 inch socket on it. I welded some nuts onto the end, and this is just temporary. Actually, once I get the wheels positioned on here, I'm going to cut this shorter to wherever it's got to be, but I just put a nut in here just for fun. And this is going to be able to, I can wrench this up or down. I can adjust the tension on the spring so that the cutting deck is weight neutral. Come back here with some little thumb screws here, which are basically bolts and a piece of steel. I'll be able to lock the tray in position. I'm going to have a meter stick or something along the side here, so when I want to change the height of the deck, I loosen this set screw or set bolt. I'll loosen that bolt, and then I'll be able to come in here, because this is essentially going to be a neutral weight, and then I'll be able to take this and give it about 1/8 of a turn, and it'll lift this whole tray up or down 1 inch or 2 or 3 or however big of a piece that I want. So I think it'll work. Now all this is just in theory, because I've never built a sawmill before, and it looks like it would be would work. So yeah, overhead garage door spring. Shut up, bird. Overhead garage door spring, 60-incher. And you're familiar with this setup if you watched any of my videos. I did a cold start of this Arctic Cat. This came by my way. Pretty cool. Cost me a 6-pack of Guinness. I got this engine, which was spinning free, and I got a stuck engine. They're 440cc. I think it's a 1973 Kawasaki engine. 2-stroke screamer. Going to use the CVT, which is the constant velocity transmission with the snowmobile belt. It's going to attach to this unit here, right? Power it like that. This is a rear end differential out of a Gator, one of those 6x6 Gators. This was replaced because this spindle here, you can see the splines, not the splines, this output shaft, these splines had gotten stripped, so it was grinding gears. So I swapped this out many years ago. I've long since sold that Gator, but I held on to this rear end because it's awesome, and it's pretty cool. It has a 6-to-1 gear reduction ratio, which means this pulley can spin 6 complete times to get 1 full revolution out of the drive axle, which is, I think, in theory, should be perfect, because I'll be able to rev this thing up. This thing likes RPMs. I'll be able to get this into its power band, and a 6-to-1 reduction to here, because these bandsaws are low to medium speed. They're not high-speed blades. And what I'll do is, because it has a nice notch in here, I'm going to make a collar that locks this, because it's a limited slip differential. See how that spins? And if I lock this stripped gear out, then I'll have a direct drive output here. And then that's what I'm going to attach a short stub axle to a front axle hub from a front wheel drive vehicle, and that's what the wheels are going to attach to. This has a speedometer output, and I have the cable for it, which is really cool, because then I'm going to put a speedo cable on here so I can get an idea of optimal speeds to run this thing at. And last but not least, what I think is really cool is it has speeds. It's got 1 forward speed, it has a neutral, and if I spin it, I can't do this with one hand, I gotta spin the input. Anyway, it'll go into a reverse. So I'm gonna have a dead man switch on this thing, which makes me really happy and much more comfortable when I'm standing next to this thing and the blade is spinning along at some ungodly speed. Is I'm gonna have an oh crap lever that I can hit, my red button, dead man switch, whatever you want to call it. It's gonna have an ignition kill, throttle reset, which will run the throttle plate down to 0. It'll kill the ignition and it'll shift this into neutral. So I'll lose all power to the saw blade. So if I bind a blade, or if a blade comes free, or something starts falling apart on this thing, I can hit that dead man switch and it'll shut everything down completely and remove all power to the rear wheels. Well, rear wheels, all power to the cutting wheels. So there you go. I'll attach a video to this in the description that shows this sucker running. It runs really well. It's got 175 pounds of compression in either cylinder, in both cylinders. And of course, you know, I'm gonna have to put a flapper on this exhaust, but so that's that. So that's the quick as I could make it update on the Sawmill project. The close of my play is Saturday, this Saturday, just a couple days away, and I cannot wait. I love doing this thing. I really enjoy hanging out with the kids and spending time with them, but the time commitment is just killing me. So I can't wait to get this done and get on with my projects for selfish reasons, because I want them done. And I appreciate you guys watching, and those that have been waiting for a Sawmill video, here it is, and that's Newman. And we're gonna get this sucker back in the forefront of my projects, because I have about 6 other projects I want to do, but I'm waiting to do those until this gets out of the way. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Leave a comment and let me know what you think.